Okay, so after we executed our second prompt, we realized we were having database issues, and none of the tables that Claude said were being created were actually being created. So in this part, we're going to go through the process of fixing the database issues. Now, if you're lucky enough to never have database issues, this is a section you can just skip, or I would say watch it through at 2x speed, just so you see some of the things you have to go through when you're not able to get your database connected properly. It's just those early problems that you have when you're vibe coding, when you're doing something complicated, and it's just what we have to work with. So this is part 9, fixing the database issues. Okay, so as of the last step, we don't have any tables created, and that's kind of concerning to me. So I'm going to come back over here to my terminal, and I'm going to switch to Model Opus. And I want it to be Opus for now. I got to remember, it's asking me how it's doing. I say it's doing fine, but so far in the project, I have no tables created in the database. Can you confirm you have access to the database? Oops. Oh. Something's not going right here. I guess my keyboard did its thing. All right. See, this is the interesting thing. So with Claude, with Opus, I literally lost my keyboard during it. I ended it early, and it knew, it kind of read my mind and said, I'll check the database connection and help you create the tables. Let me test the database access. So it is... I've created the database setup script to help you. Let me verify the database connection and create the tables for you. Now this is all I'm going to ask Opus to do. I'm going to try to not burn up my Opus tokens on the first day of the week. Please run for me. This is the one thing with vibe coding. If the large language model or the tool can do it, make the tool do it. Because every time you intervene, you're giving it a chance for you to break it. This way, we know whether or not it's going to actually work. So, all right. So PHP was not found. And I saw this error earlier. That is something... What's it trying to do? So it is going to try to figure out where the command line interface is. This is also one of the reasons that when I do most of my development, I do not actually develop on the Mac. I will develop on the Ubuntu server that I plan to eventually deploy the application on. Sometimes this just makes everything so much easier. All right, so it says it's running the script. It's verifying. Yeah, there's no tables. Well, actually, it says it's running the database script. Now, it's 38 seconds into running a script. I probably could have done it manually faster than that, so I'm trying to... Because this is a long-term project, this is a project we're going to keep adding and prompting and prompting and prompting on, I want to make sure that Claude can do what Claude needs to do. And Claude is having some issues. All right. All right, it is asking me to run this setup database, and I'm going to do it. Okay, first of all, for future reference, is the Apache root and does not need to in the URL. All right. I'm going to run it. Oops. Of course I didn't copy it correctly. And it told me to use 8889, which is correct for MySQL, but it's 8888 for me to run it. All right, setup failed. Access denied for user when using localhost. All right. The name of the database. Why do you keep doing that? Something's going nutty with my keyboard. All right, I'm gonna have to do this from a terminal. Do I have anything on my keyboard? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so some of the issues that we're running into, again, these are Sonnet issues, and I have run into these Sonnet issues before. I told it the name of the database, I told it the name of the user, and it just said, nah, we're going to use something else instead. We're going to use, we got Vibe templates right, but then when we connected to the database, we called it to-do tracker. Okay, the database Vibe templates is already created and is the database we want to use. Are you able to connect to the database yourself? And do you have access to the PHP command line? This is a lot of what you go through with when you're dealing with the beginnings part of a project with Claude, which again is the reason I created VibeTemplates.com. Because this stuff, no matter how many times you do it, you know, this is probably the 7th or 8th time I've started a project from scratch. And every time I run into different types. So it didn't answer my question yet. All right, I cannot directly connect to MySQL, but I can help you run PHP scripts. All right, the username is Vibe Templates. All right, I'm going to verify this first. MySQL all right, the username is it MySQL? Yeah, it's MySQL. I'm pretty sure that this is what I told it before. I'm going to be going back in the video and seeing what's going on here. Oh, I did give it the wrong credentials. All right, it says it's creating tables. Let's find out. Let's come back over here and see what we're doing. Yeah, not buying it. It did connect though. Got some tables. All right, we're back in business. Look at this. All right, so it's creating a demo user and sample data. All right, well, so while this is going on, you notice I have not done very much, okay? I've not done very much, but this is all my Opus usage so far. I am already at 9% of my Opus usage for the week, okay? So, yeah. So, as of right now, I have used 9% of my entire week's Opus, and all I've done is tried to fix this issue. So it did connect. It is testing the authentication system, and then I need to make sure I switch back to Sonnet, because there is, for my other project, I'm going to have some needs for some Opus this week. So let me break out of this as soon as it's done with what it's doing. Okay, it is now catching up. Okay, so while it's doing its thing there, we're going to go and we're going to get our third build prompt.